The Art of Adventure. This is 5 Minute Friday, all about the gut microbiome and how you can eat anything, anywhere in the world with a strong microbiome. So as many of you know, I used to be a microbiologist. I was in grad school for microbiology, and I've had some requests from listeners to nerd out a little bit, to talk a little bit more about science and microbes and that kind of stuff, which I still love, even though I'm not actively doing research. So I wanted to talk about something that has to do with travel and gut health. And this is the ability to eat anything, anywhere in the world. And the world's most traveled man, Spencer Bown, he told me that he believes his longevity, the reason he's been able to travel for multiple decades at a time, is he has really good gut health. So if you are in Mongolia and they're just serving yak meat stew, or if you're at Oktoberfest and you're just drinking beer and eating pretzels, or if you're sailing around the Greek islands and you're just catching fish and eating a pure diet of fish, these types of things, they're obviously not normal. And if you don't have a strong gut microbiome, you have the potential to feel unhealthy, to have your digestive suffer, and get sick much easier. So one of the things that I do to make sure that when I'm traveling, I can just, if a local is going to give me a scorpion or a snake or whatever to eat, I want to be totally comfortable that I can eat it and not get sick and not get any weird reactions. So I try to maintain strong gut microbiome health by having a diet that helps support that. And so for those of you that don't know about the gut microbiome, we have in our guts a community of microbes, of largely bacteria, single-celled organisms. There are hundreds or thousands of different species that live inside your gut. There's way more bacteria inside you and on you than there are human cells. So think about that. We're actually mostly bacteria and not human cells, which kind of blows my mind. But they've shown that the community in your gut is really, really important for a lot of reasons. This bacterial community prevents all kinds of diseases when you have a healthy one. Diseases ranging from allergies to irritable bowel syndrome to obesity to autoimmune diseases. And the microbes in our gut also control things like hormone regulation. They help us know when we're hungry, controlling decision-making, digestion, helping us get the right nutrients. So it's been called the second brain. It's a really important to have a strong community. And the measure of a strong gut microbial community is diversity. So a few years back, I got my gut microbiome sequenced by the American Gut Project. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but I found that I had one of the highest rates of diversity. That means more different species of different types of microbes in my gut, which is a good sign because that means all the minority community of these microbes, they might be producing key nutrients and vitamins and all kinds of things that help my overall health. So there are two main things you want to keep in mind when building your gut microbe community. Think of it like a garden. You're the gardener and you're trying to make this garden inside of you as healthy and vibrant as possible. Like a rainforest that has lots of species diversity, that's what you want to have going on in your gut too. So there's two things here: prebiotics and probiotics. And you've probably heard of probiotics before. That's things like yogurt and kefir and kombucha and kimchi and sauerkraut, all kinds of different fermented foods. You can also take probiotic supplements that you buy in a bottle that deliver a ton of something like lactobacillus or bifidobacteria to your gut. And most cultures have a fermented food. It was one of the best ways of preserving food was to ferment it long before we had refrigeration. So almost anywhere you travel, you'll be able to find some good fermented food. So I always make sure that I have something like that in my diet. And that can kickstart the regrowth of community, especially if you've just taken antibiotics or something like that that knock down the level of diversity in your gut. Now, the other thing, which is less well known, is the prebiotics. And basically, these are things that provide the right conditions for your microbiome to flourish. And your grandparents were pretty much right in that fiber is the key here. And what happens when you eat whole vegetables and whole fruits is that the fiber in these plants forms like a little gel in your stomach, and it slows digestion way down. So if you're eating things like a bagel that has a high glycemic index, that just goes right through you. It's digested really quickly, and you're not able to take advantage of these secondary and tertiary microbial communities. And what I mean is that when you first digest something, there's bacteria that will start digesting the food to help you in your digestion. And they produce certain nutrients, certain organic compounds and vitamins and things like that, that were not present in the food. So all of a sudden you have more nutrients than the food you took in. And that gives the opportunity for a secondary round of bacteria to start growing, which give you more and varied nutrients still. So basically you're increasing the diversity of nutrients that your body has available when you eat fiber, and it slows down the digestive process. So some of those prebiotic foods are carrots, asparagus, garlic, jicama, Jerusalem artichoke, leeks, onions, radishes, tomatoes. If you can incorporate some of those in your diets, those are superfoods in terms of the microbiome prebiotics. Also, cinnamon and turmeric are really good spices to use on a consistent basis because they support the good bacteria in your gut. So if you can work these prebiotics and probiotics into your normal diet, then whenever the holidays roll around or whenever it's time to go on a trip and you don't know what you're going to be eating, or if you want help dealing with something like allergies or autoimmune diseases or just a digestive system that's not working quite right, these are some of the key things. And you may also want to eliminate other things, potentially dairy, gluten, things like that could be irritants. But if you focus on microbiome health, so many things will work easier for you. Hopefully you guys found that interesting. Hopefully that's helpful for you travelers out there or for just everybody. And I love being able to share some of my microbiology background and tie it in with adventure for you guys. So let me know if you learned anything from this episode, and if you're going to take any of this and use it in your own diet and lifestyle. And until next time, go out there and be adventurous.